Hello everyone, my name is Archie Hanayu Balas. For today's video, I will tackle the blood flow through the heart in systemic circulation. But before that, allow me to discuss the basic parts of the heart. Arteries and veins link our hearts to the rest of the circulatory system. Veins bring blood to our hearts, and arteries take blood away from our hearts. The heart has four valves that control the flow of blood so that it moves in the right direction, and valves prevent blood from flowing backward. Tricuspid valve separates the right atrium and right ventricle. The mitral valve separates the left atrium and left ventricle. The pulmonary valve separates the right ventricle and pulmonary artery. The aortic valve separates the left ventricle and aorta. The valves open and shut in time with the pumping action of the heart's chambers. The opening and closing involve a set of flaps called cuffs or leaflets. The cuffs open to allow blood to flow out of a chamber and close to allow the chamber to refill the blood. Heart valve diseases can cause backflow or slow the flow of blood through the heart. The heart has four chambers, two atria and two ventricles. The right atrium receives oxygen-poor blood from the body and pumps it to the right ventricle. The right ventricle pumps the oxygen-poor blood to the lungs. The left atrium receives oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and pumps it to the left ventricle. The left ventricle pumps the oxygen-rich blood to the body. Now that we know the basic parts of the heart, let's discuss the systemic circulation of our heart. Systemic circulation carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body and returns the oxygenated blood back to the heart. Pathway of systemic circulation. Oxygen-rich blood flow from the lungs leaves the pulmonary circulation when it enters the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. The blood is then pumped through the mitral valve into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, blood is pumped through the aortic valve and into the aorta. The aorta arches and branches into major arteries to the upper body before passing through the diaphragm, where it branches further into arteries that supply the lower parts of the body. The arteries branch into smaller arteries, arterioles, and finally capillaries. The oxygenated blood continues through the capillaries which merge into venules, then veins, and superior and inferior vena cava, which drains into the right atrium of the heart. From the right atrium, the blood will travel through the pulmonary circulation.